and gentlemen, welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm your host, Belmont, and we have more sad news from the gaming industry. From PC Gamer, we wish to express our deepest regret. Bulletstorm and Outriders dev, People Can Fly, suspends unannounced projects in yet another wave of gaming layoffs. Two of People Can Fly's planned mystery games may never see the light of day. May's very generous. It's most likely will never. This is the second round of layoffs in the past 6 months, 7 months. For those of you that don't know, People Can Fly did a round of layoffs just last December, 2024. Now they're being hit with another round right now. Let's see what they have to say. So this company is Polish, so I do apologize in advance for the names I'm about to butcher. Sebastian Wojciechowski, People Can Fly CEO, shared some disheartening news in an announcement on LinkedIn on Sunday. Not only is the studio indefinitely suspending two games it had in development, it is also scaling down its staff. Both are the result of negotiations with a publisher falling through and a lack of adequate resources and funding to continue the projects, codenamed Gemini and Bifrost or Bifrost. As Wojciechowski detailed in the announcement, the suspension of Gemini project is a consequence of the fact that the publisher has not presented us with a draft of the subsequent content rider to the publishing agreement covering the terms and conditions of further milestones on Project Gemini and the lack of communication for the publisher as to its willingness to continue or terminate the Gemini project. Project Bifrost was suspended due to the above and the analysis of the group's cash flow, which showed a lack of prospects for securing organizational resources and funds necessary to continue the production and release of this project. That's a mouthful, but in layman's terms, Wojciechowski is seriously laying into Gemini's unnamed publisher, claiming it has just left People Can Fly on red. Oh, sorry, habit. On red for long enough that they have to cancel the project. The knock on financial effect means the studio can't keep going with Bifrost either. To make matters worse, both games indefinitely on hold, People Can Fly has to scale down its teams, meaning some of the studio staff are losing their jobs. Wojciechowski concludes his statement on a somber note saying, "We wish to express our deepest regret and sadness over how these events have unfolded and our sincere gratitude for everyone's contribution up to this point. The announcement does not mention exactly how many people will be laid off or if People Can Fly wants to leave the door open to return to projects Gemini and Bifrost, but the prognosis isn't good. Gemini and Bifrost are code names for games that haven't been officially revealed yet, but after this news, it looks like we might not ever find out what those games were supposed to be. Yeah, it's very unlikely that anything will continue with that or that will even get further on because if they're laying people off who are working on the project, they're most likely laying off the creative team, i.e., the writers or the directors. So even if they wanted to continue those projects without rehiring the people that are being laid off, they wouldn't have the same spirit, the same feeling, the same story. So it's very unlikely that anything will come of those stories. They could repurpose them, I suppose, and take bits and elements from it, but the actual like vision that these people have will never be achieved. Where was I? People Can Fly still has a ton of projects still in development, though. It's been announced that the studio will co develop the upcoming Gears of War prequel, E Day, alongside the Coalition. And they are also working on a co op survival shooter, Lost Rift. People Can Fly also appears to have three unannounced projects still in development: Bison, Echo, and Delta. Lost Rifts appears to still be on track for its early release, with a May 27th Steam post announcing a demo for the game will be available next week as part of a Steam Next Fest. So this is what I'm talking about. More demos. I like that. But I'm confused. Are they not working on the um reboot of Painkiller? Painkiller was their first big hit, and it's what launched them as a company. And I know there's supposed to be a reboot coming out later this year, Painkiller reboot. And I'm kind of surprised that they're not talking about it. The development set to launch in fall of 2025 on PlayStation. Da, 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 developed by Onshar Studios and published by Saber Interactive and 3D Realms. Oh, so no, they have nothing to do with it. That's kind of surprising. It was like their flagship game was a first person shooter and had a really great multiplayer system in it. But the fact that they're not working on this is kind of odd to me, which means I guess they lost the rights at some point. Both the remake and a sequel to Painkiller. Oh, it's going to be a sequel? So is it two in one? Like the original game and the sequel? The original was released on October 31st, 2021. Um, uh, no, I don't care about the plot. Why am I on Wikipedia? That's why. Painkiller. I guess we're doubling down on articles today. Painkiller remake is coming later this year, but it'll slightly different from how you remember it. Ooh, that's not good. The game literally launched an entire studio. Changing it up might not be the best idea. Okay, I'm not going to get into this. But yeah, that answered my question. It seems that People Can Fly are not working on the Painkiller reboot slash sequel at all, which is very odd to me. But I guess Onshar Studios is going to be handling that. Never heard of Onshar Studios, but nah, I was about to do a lookup on them, but I don't care because this is just more sad news in the Western gaming industry. And it's just layoffs after layoffs after layoffs. And what's going on? Like, what's really going on with Western game studios? Because Eastern game studios are giving their employees raises and their CEOs are buying people like cars and houses and giving massive bonuses. And it seems every well developed Western studio that's been around for at least a decade is just doing massive layoffs and canceling projects and dropping like flies. And I can't figure out for the life of me what's going on. It's definitely a funding issue, but what's causing it? Is it really that? Is it, you know, modern day politics being forced into video games? Is that what's causing it? Is it just bad management? Is it lack of good writing, lack of talent? Is it all of these things combined? Probably a little of all of them combined, but it seems ridiculous that it's so many different studios all at once, all within the past couple of years, just being hit with massive amounts of layoffs. And I don't know when it's going to stop. Hopefully soon. Hopefully gaming can rebound to its former early 2000s glory because that's when gaming was really at its peak. That's when all these companies were coming out, when new developers were coming out left and right, when new IPs and innovative takes on old genres were coming out. And it just seems that Western development is stagnated and they've run out of new interesting ideas, which is crazy because there's plenty of new interesting ideas out there. Well, heck, I just found out the Black Panther game that got canceled was apparently supposed to use the Nemesis system or a system similar to the Nemesis system, which is unfortunate because the Nemesis system is one of the best systems ever made for the AI of enemies in games. But there you have it. People Can Fly. Yet another company doing yet another round of layoffs. Don't know why, don't know how, but there it is. Western gaming is in trouble. That's pretty much what this boils down to. But that's all I have for this story. This is your host Belmont, signing out.